Little red light is on. That means we are live. Everybody, welcome to the Word Vomit Podcast. Podcast where we talk about video games, music, comics, television, streaming. I am the stubborn SOB Vitamin E Man, aka Emmanuel. We got the Triforce of the United Triforce. Actually, we got Randy Kings.
Hey.
We got Sean Vander.
Of course.
Are you gonna have that on the whole time, dude?
Oh shit.
No. Oh, don't even. Don't even.
You've been trying to work that in.
Shut your filthy lying face there, Sean.
Shoot. I mean, oh, shoot.
No. I forgot. I'm sorry, guys.
It's as easy as pushing a button. I'm sorry.
Mind you, you were talking
That doesn't
before
mean anything,
we started
Sean.
recording, and it had the cathedral feel
Yeah.
to it.
Oh. Okay, well yeah, all right, sure.
Yeah.
I
Shut
toned
up.
down the volume of
This
it.
guy's
Don't
trying to
get
be
a
all.
toy.
How are you trying to be slick with cathedral noise? How?
Yeah.
How do
I
you do
don't-
that?
Okay, first off, I have 4 different effects for the echo. I toned it down, and I toned down the volume to the weaker one, so you could barely really hear it like I do now. All right, I could completely make it worse, but I'm not going to.
Oh no, I can take care of that. I'm like, nope. We're-
Yeah, I know. You just hit the
Dude,
mute.
like,
Yeah.
nope,
there it
you're
is.
done now, buddy.
Well, fine.
Just
let me-
realize
I'm-
you don't have the power in this, Sean.
I would
You may have the booming voice, but you don't have the power.
Did you also catch that he was kind of just bragging about what he has?
Yeah.
Like he says, I have these on. I'm like, why do you even have them on?
I don't know.
It's like,
Oh, I'm just gonna
because
humble brag on
I
this
just so
thing.
happen to have a new soundboard that does this amazing stuff on there.
I don't know.
Can you believe I just found it on the sidewalk?
No, I didn't. It was given to me for free.
Guys,
Again, humble bragging. Humble bragging.
brag, yeah.
Not even humble brag. Just like, oh yeah, look, I got this.
You do it too, Randy. Shut up.
I don't do any of that. I just talk about little things. And any of the stuff I've bragged about, not on the air. Just point that now.
Yeah.
Not talk about any of the equipment that I may or may not be using.
I have a feeling now that Sean's going to be like listening intently to make sure that you don't, so that if
like,
you
yeah.
do, he's going to call you out on it.
No.
I'm like, no, dude. Also
No.
not showing it off.
Guys, what is up?
Hey.
Well, apparently not the echo effect that Sean is using.
No,
Yeah.
I turned it off.
Yeah, see, there you go.
It's a mute button. You have to push the mute button. So right now I muted this special effects. So yeah. So what's up, guys?
You're weird is what's up.
Am I weird?
You're weird. But we love you
Oh.
that way.
Oh, okay, cool.
I mean, nothing wrong with that. Absolutely
All right,
nothing wrong
sweet.
with that. A lot to talk about on this episode. First off, I want to say thanks to the guys. We are recording a little bit later. It's still Saturday morning, but got a little left behind. So I appreciate you guys bearing
That's
with
fine.
me on that.
Sure.
Don't let it happen again.
Yeah, yes.
I lost a little bit more sleep.
I saw the brick on my balcony, Randy.
You
I realize I have to be more careful with this, okay? I'm sorry. You didn't have to do that.
Maybe I did. Maybe I didn't.
The message was way already known beforehand. But now I have an oversized paperweight. So silver linings on all things. All right. We got a lot to talk about. I know one of the topics that's going to take up a lot of the time is the PlayStation 5 reveal, how it looks, a lot of the titles that are coming out with it. But there was a couple of other things that I wanted to talk about. I wanted to make sure we shine a little light on there because we do stuff outside of just video games, as I mentioned before, movies, television, streaming, comics, and a couple of things going on in those worlds right now as well. So let's go ahead and start with the Bill and Ted trailer that just dropped this last week, or last week, whenever you're listening to this.
Sure.
We finally got our Bill and Ted Face the Music trailer. We talked about it last year when they announced that they were releasing it, and it's still, despite Virus C happening, it still seems to be doing the same release date of summer 2020. Maybe late summer. Which I'll give it to them. I thought it was actually going to be pushed. I honestly didn't think we were going to see this until 2021.
Mhm.
And the trailer comes out, and I want to hear you guys' thoughts on it.
Well, let's see. Me or Randy?
Let's start
Go
with
ahead, Sean.
Brandon.
You already started talking. Well, I was like, Sean started talking, so go for it, dude.
Well, no,
Oh.
Sean's chewing right now, and I don't want him to speak with his mouth full. So, Randy, please start us off.
I mean, it's like the first trailer. First trailer to me, it's like essentially just still just the teaser, and all it does
Yeah.
that I was excited about is that it did show them actually as Bill and Ted, and I thought that was pretty dope to see, especially since this has been like one of those movies that they've just been trying so hard to get off the ground, and the fact that we now actually have a trailer that shows that that it exists regardless of what's going on with this pandemic. It exists, and they actually have had things happen as far as production goes. So. I mean, it's exciting. It's exciting.
So you like it?
I mean, I liked it in the sense that it confirms that there is a movie and that it's real. Now, I don't really care for movies that are first trailers. I'm like, they're like, it's essentially still just a teaser, and really it doesn't do anything for me. Like, I'm probably more excited maybe 2 or 3 in before it's like anything important.
I'm surprised they didn't go with the Fast and the Furious route, where it's like a teaser trailer for the first trailer next week.
Yeah. Well, then I don't think.
Oh God, don't do that. That's so irritating.
It's I mean, that's all. And that's all. It's also who the studio is that makes these things, right? So
that's how
Yeah.
family does it. That's how family does it.
well, Universal, they're gonna do whatever they can.
I guess, especially with the Fast and Furious. But like, I don't know.
Sean,
This is Bill and Ted.
what did you think about Bill and Ted Face the Music, the trailer?
I don't think they showed enough. Randy's right. It's like that first trailer. I mean, all you showed me was, Bill and Ted, and I'm like, oh, okay, cool. They got the original actors back. Cool. That's great. That's great. And okay, cool. They're using a phone booth. People at this point don't know what a phone booth is, but okay, whatever, fine. It's a thing. And I don't know. It's like you guys were supposed to unite the world. It's bitch. The world isn't united yet. What are you? You're supposed to do something, and like, oh, we can go back in time. I'm like, oh, are they?
Actually, no, they're going forward in time. They're going
forward in time. Yeah, like, are you bagging on yourselves? Is it? Are you almost making fun of the whole concept of Bill and Ted? That's very meta, Bill and Ted. I mean,
I didn't catch that at all. I didn't think they were making fun of themselves at all. I mean, the whole thing about the phone booth thing, that's just part of their lore. It's like, Doctor Who travels in a police box. There's no police box around, especially no one knows what the hell. But it's just a thing. It's just a thing.
Every time I see a phone booth, I want to take a picture and post it up on social media. Like, yeah, they're still out here, people. They still exist.
Yeah.
And it's also
whether or not they still work, I don't want to try it because I don't know who's been using it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I feel like I'd have to, pressure clean it out just to make it disgusting. So yeah. I'll hold off, but I'll take a picture. I'll far enough away, take a picture.
Well, I mean, I don't think it showed enough. It just made me feel like the movie is real and it is a thing that's going to come out. And you're like, oh, okay, cool, awesome.
Well, I always wonder though, because you've said this before on other things. How much do you need to see from a trailer without going, oh, might as well just watch the whole thing? Like you said the same thing about Kingdom Hearts 3. You're like, I don't believe it's real. Final Fantasy 7, don't believe it's real. And then they're like, oh, it's not going to be on the PS4. And then like, yeah dude, they're not going to not do that.
Hey, I'm not saying my track record of being right is very good. All right.
Well, I'm just wondering, like, how much more do you need to see to be like, all right, I'm in?
Okay, I think what he basically means is that we spoke about this last year, and, Bill and Ted came out and said it, and you're just like, it's not real until I see a trailer. So how far out does something have to be?
Oh, no, it's real. I mean, I believe it now. I see a trailer.
But just in general, like, something gets announced. At what point does it become real to you? Does it have to have the trailer, or...
Well, see, because the thing is, like, productions can be canceled, like, kind of, I wouldn't say early, or they could just be canceled at this point.
Doesn't answer the question,
the movie could be canceled, and you're not gonna see that movie, and you're like, oh.
Doesn't answer the question, though.
Most movies that have a trailer, they're not getting canceled.
Right.
That's, okay.
I have only heard of one movie in the last few years that was straight up just canceled or canned or whatnot, and I never saw a trailer for it. And that's like a recent movie with what's it called? What's his name from Spider-Man and the girl who played Rey in Star Wars. They did a movie like 3 years ago. I think it's called Ophelia, and it's never been released.
Oh,
Okay.
that's right.
I've
Tom
never seen a
Holland's-
trailer for it. I've never seen a trailer for it, so I don't know what it's really about. But I'm like, oh,
So
bad,
to
huh?
go back to the question, Sean, in order for it to be real for you, does it have to have a trailer?
Yeah.
Like, is that where it becomes for you speculation to reality?
Well, I'm not saying that it's like I don't feel like it's not gonna happen. It's just
Dude, but that's what Randy's saying
I don't
though, is
know.
that like Kingdom Hearts, Final Fantasy, they kept saying, yeah, it's gonna happen, yes, it's gonna happen, and you're just like, it's not gonna happen.
well with Final Fantasy and Kingdom Hearts, those are video games and things get canceled all the time, and I get hurt and I'm like, oh man, that's not gonna happen.
Still hasn't
Yeah.
answered the question.
Video games.
And again, I'm going to point out that it's very rarely when you see a trailer for a game does it not come out. I can only think of maybe a handful that just never happened. But
That's
it's 'cause-
way more than you see for games and then movies.
Sean,
right?
fix your mic. You're coming
Why?
in kind of low.
Am I?
Yes.
but yeah, it's just one of those things where I'm like, oh, because usually in order for them to get the trailer for the game, they have to have a game to show.
Yeah.
Like,
Testing.
if it's just a title, I've seen that happen where there's just a title sequence. For all we know, that Metroid 4 game could never, or
happening.
Metroid Prime may not happen because
Yeah.
we've never seen a real trailer for it. Now, do I think that's going to happen? Probably not, because Nintendo's not going to do that.
No.
Not with Metroid
To
Prime.
go back to the Bill and Ted
Yes.
movie, I took out a look at the trailer, and I don't know what it was. I didn't get hyped. I wasn't excited for it. I mean, I was excited at the prospect when it came out. I was like, oh my god, we got the trailer, and then I watched the trailer, and I'm just like, eh. Like maybe it is the case of I didn't get enough, but it just felt like I think it's weird to see Keanu Reeves acting like Ted again, like at 50, trying to do the voice of Ted when he was a teenager. It's just like that's so bizarre for me, so odd. And I was just like, wow, I don't know, that seems kind of weird. But all right, what else we got? And then we see a very, very small clip of Death, so we know he's going to be making a return.
Yeah, that's
Not
exciting to
Rufus.
see him.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, because he passed away, so
I know.
they're not going to digitally re-add him.
Yeah, please don't do that. But
Yeah.
then it's like, I don't know. I feel like Emmanuel. He's like, I wasn't really too hyped for it. I mean, hey, cool, it's happening, but wasn't really too hyped for it. So
I guess
yeah.
what it might be, I don't know. Maybe it's because my last main fond memory of Bill and Ted is in fact the closing arc of part 2, where it's like this giant concert and music and whatnot. And I feel like even though the whole premise is of them going to get the music, it's like I felt maybe there was not a lot of emphasis behind it. I know that sounds weird, like enough emphasis on it, but maybe it's just because we only have the first trailer.
Yeah.
We're probably going to get 2 more, and we'll probably get to see a little bit more. And I am looking forward to that. I want to be excited for this. I remember watching Bill and Ted as a kid and absolutely loving it. But as far as the first trailer coming out, I'm still a little underwhelmed.
Is this enough to where did you actually need to see a trailer to want to see this movie? That's really the question.
For me, I don't think so. I think if you were to just say like, hey, here's the Bill and Ted movie, I without a trailer, just like, here it is, and it's like, all right, it's not a cheap knockoff, is it? Like, no, it's Keanu Reeves, Alex Wright, they're in this. I'm like, oh, okay, cool, let's do it.
It's Alex Winter. You said Alex Wright. I'm like,
I'm sorry, Alex Wright is the
mean-
wrestler.
yeah, you mean
Alex
that
Winter.
that Euro German trash persona that he had. Not that he actually is Euro German trash. I mean, he may have been. I don't know, but
No, he seems like a nice guy from whatever.
yeah, I know. But I'm just thinking about him in his leather jacket now dancing. Like, anyway, but yes, I mean, like, did you really need to see the trailer to want to watch this movie? For either of you?
I was already excited for it. But I feel like this
Sean
trailer-
apparently didn't care. He's like, no. Okay, that's a no for Sean then.
Yeah. Actually, it looks like Sean's trying to take a dump right now.
It does.
No.
I mean, for me, it's always like
It did. And I'm going to take a screenshot of it, and I'm going to send it to you, and you're going to tell me.
No,
I
he
have
didn't.
to, dude. It looked like you were trying to. I still though want to see when they do the whole promotional tour, and hopefully by the time it does happen, they'll be able, people will be able to record in studios again. I still want to see Bill and Ted on SNL on an episode of Wayne's World.
Just doing
I
that.
still want to see that.
So like Alex Winter or Keanu Reeves would have to be hosting.
Which would probably be Keanu Reeves.
It'd be you're
as,
gonna get
as
Keanu.
hosting, but you'll get Alex
And-
Winters in a couple of the skits, and one of them definitely has to be that, because I know that I wouldn't say there was a clash on it, but there was a lot of comparisons to them.
Yeah.
So I think that'd be like the perfect way to come full circle.
It's interesting is that people don't realize that when Bill and Ted came out, that movie had already been done and sitting on that shelf for like 3 years. It was a long time before it got picked up. So the time frame of those characters and Wayne's World, there's actually a pretty big gap between the two. So to say like not that they were necessarily copying each other per se, there just happens to be similarities because they're two friends. They do have catchphrases. They have
centered around rock music.
Yeah, they have all of that stuff going on, but they're actually like the time frame between the two creations of it is very big. So it's like, oh, it still would be interesting to see them together though.
Yeah, definitely.
Especially like, their difference between when they can't believe something happens, they go no way and they say yes way, and then with Wayne's World it's way instead of no way. Like no way. It's like yeah, that'd be awesome. Just have them just bounce off of each other like that.
Yeah, I mean, I even said it last year. I gotta make a hashtag out of it.
Yeah, I mean,
Bill and Ted SNL.
Bill
and Ted Wayne's World. Yeah, I'll have to come up with something.
But yeah, actually, I think they're saying that at least in California, they're gonna start allowing TV and movie productions to start up. I think by the end of this month. So by the end of June, they're gonna have things that are moving along. So you might still see like there might be a tour. Obviously, there's gonna be some things going on because of the pandemic and whatnot. But they're probably you're gonna see some things happening as far as that goes.
I guess what I'm wondering is how I'm going to see this movie. Am I going to be able to go in theaters?
I know that, well, as Randy was pointing out, at least in California, for anybody who listens outside of California, I'm not entirely sure, but for California, I did hear that they are also beginning to open up movie theaters and whatnot, like little by little. People can't sit directly next to each other. They got to still continue to do social distancing. I know that drive-in theaters are kind of creeping back in, which is a pretty cool concept, but I still don't see where the money is in that, seeing as how everybody will just sneak in their own concessions.
I mean,
if people are going to do that when they go into the theater, how much easier is it to do it in your car?
It's actually, I don't think drive-in theaters allow you to bring. They don't have a concession area, so you are bringing your own food in.
Yeah.
I've never been, so.
Right now, like normally you'd make money. I mean, I've been to drive-in theaters. It's been a long time, but
customers of AIS.
Well, oops.
Don't
mind me. Don't mind me. Well, I'm just looking out, seeing how many. I was trying to find out for you, Sean. How are you going to watch a movie?
Okay, cool.
So yes, actually, movie theaters are opening. There's going to be 15 here. I believe they say 15 in California. How many in Northern California? A bunch.
Okay.
So
cool.
Well, we can look that up and send him the information.
But yeah, they're actually opening up, and there actually is. I've seen some theaters talk about how they're gonna do it. So they're gonna have it where, especially the modern ones like Century, they have their own. Then they have the assigned seating. They're gonna have spaces blocked off, so you're not gonna have a full theater, but you might have one where it's like you and a seat that's open for your guest or whoever you're with, and then there'll be like blank or empty seats.
I hate to say it, but I would also imagine that everything's going to start going up in price since they actually have to limit how many people come in, and in order for them to start making money, they got to start raising the price.
I mean,
not just on the
maybe
tickets, but on the concessions as well.
They haven't mentioned anything about that though. There's no word on whether or not ticket prices will go up. So there's going to be ways for you to watch these movies.
I'll say concessions go up because you don't really have to announce that concessions are going up, so it's just going to happen.
Let's see.
All right.
Actually, no. Actually, well, the ticket prices. Let's see. The one I'm reading now for it says most theaters, multiplexes. They'll have. Obviously, it's going to be mask will be required. Facility, discounted ticket prices. I guess they're going to have discounted ticket prices in some theaters to get people in.
All right.
So I don't know how long that'll last.
Last question with the Bill and Ted, based off of the trailer. Just for the first one, because of course we're still looking forward to the next one and the next one, because there's usually like 3 trailers before the movie comes out. With the release of the first trailer, is it enough for you to go watch the movie? I think you guys already got my answer, but I'll just go ahead and say it. As of right now, no. But I am looking forward to the other trailers to change my mind.
Wait, so you know you're what you've seen on the movie trailer we have now, you have no interest in seeing the movie.
As of right now, no.
Okay.
Huh.
I totally thought it would be different because I thought when you said, "Hey, were you not going to see this movie regardless?" You're like, "No." I'm like, "Oh."
Yeah. That trailer left a really bad taste in my mouth.
I mean, like that means yes, you're going to go watch this movie.
Prior to the trailer, you said, right? Like if they hadn't shown me the trailer and they're like, "Here's the movie," would you go watch it?
No, I meant like despite this trailer, were you?
Oh, I thought you meant like if they just said like, "Here's the movie" without the trailer, then I would have. But I guess to go back to it, then no, I wouldn't.
Okay. All right. I guess.
You watched that movie without a trailer coming out?
Well, with the trailer that we got.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
basically saying that because of the trailer not being overwhelmingly positive enough for him to want to go see it.
All right.
What about you, Sean?
I think that would be a good movie to actually try out movie theaters again.
But the question
yeah.
is based off of what you saw in the trailer. Nothing else. Has nothing to do with going back to the movie theaters or anything else. Just the trailer in itself. Would that trailer be enough for you to go watch this movie?
No.
No? All right.
Mm-mm.
What about you, Randy?
They didn't show anything.
I am interested. And I actually appreciate when movie theater or movie trailers don't show too much because then, you get that whole, all the best parts were in the trailer. Like, what the fuck was I watching this movie for?
Well,
Show me as little as possible and keep me surprised because you don't know. I knew that death was going to be in the movie because they did announce that, but I was kind of disappointed that I saw him in the trailer. But yeah, based on what I saw, I'm like, that's enough for me to go, yep, I'm going to watch this movie.
All right. Cool beans.
Give me my support. And I also understand, I know we're saying, based on the first trailer. I'm like, first trailers are like, that's nothing.
I don't know, man. I saw the first trailer of the new Fast and the Furious movie, and that got me pretty hyped.
It's also the 9th version of this franchise.
When John Cena
so it's like it's too much. It's like at that point you really don't need a trailer to see those movies. Realistically, you don't need music. Fast and Furious. That's it. Okay, that's it.
When Vin Diesel can grappling hook in his car with like a bridge to off of a mountain to another mountain.
Yeah,
that just gets asses and seats. I
get that. At the same time, it's not anything that I'm not surprised to see in a Fast and Furious movie. Now, if the Transformers showed up, if they just randomly ran it like, Optimus Prime just rolled in and tossed, the Charger in the air to help them get to the plane, then I'm like, holy crap, what was that? Like, if they're not doing that, then I'm not surprised by that.
Get started on that crossover universe.
I think I would walk away in anger at that point.
I would be like, cool. I'd be like, hey,
why
guys,
not? We got to move this on.
I don't know why.
Guys, we got to move this on because I want to make sure we give plenty of time to the PlayStation. So I'm going to go ahead and move the conversation over to the next thing. The new Evil Dead movie is being worked on right now. It's called Evil Dead Now. Okay. And before anybody asks, no, Ash does not make a return. Bruce Campbell has retired the character, not doing it anymore. After the Stars series, that was it. I wish that series had gotten at least one more season, but just the numbers weren't there. And now, instead of Sam Raimi coming back, they're actually doing a different director. His name is Lee Cronin, who was handpicked by Sam Raimi to make this next Evil Dead movie. Are you guys big fans of the Evil Dead series, by the way?
Oh, no, I love that franchise.
No.
I'm really big on that. The Necronomicon and especially just the story, but the techniques that we're using that is the reason why we got a lot of the effects we've gotten in like Spider-Man. Sam Raimi's Spider-Man uses, mind you, bigger budget versions of it, but it's like
same concepts.
Yeah, same concept
of what they did with like the Evil Dead.
Like how we got the chase camera for Spider-Man when he's going through the city. It was based on techniques he used running through the forest, chasing after Ash as the
evil spirits that just kind of the weird like.
What was it? He said that he was two techniques he used. He mounted a camera onto an ATV and would chase Bruce Campbell in it, and the other one was he mounted a camera to a rope, which was then swinging from a rigging on a tree, and then he would also throw that. Like, that is the lowest budget solution I could ever think, and I never would have guessed that's what he did. Yeah,
and it worked, which was amazing.
Yeah.
So Bruce is going to be working in the back. So we're
That's
probably
good.
going to get new heroes, new introductions. I've always been a fan of if you're going to revisit a franchise to see how other people are affected by it, by everything that's going on.
Sure.
So I am a little excited to see where they're going to go with this. I don't think they're going to incorporate the 2013 movie into this at all.
I'm kind of bummed by that. I actually liked
I am a
Jane
little
Levy.
bit too. I was always hoping that at some point the main character from that movie would meet up with Ash, but it just never came into fruition. But yeah, your guys' thoughts. I want to get Sean's on this one first because Sean, you said you weren't a fan of the Evil Dead series.
No, they're okay. I've only ever seen like the first two. And I'm like, yeah, that was good. That was good. And then I was fine. I didn't see a Stars TV show or
Army of Darkness.
none of that. Yeah. No, that's the second one.
No,
That's
it's not.
the one I saw.
That's the third one.
That's actually
That's
the
the
third
third
movie.
one.
Yes.
Yeah.
So then,
Okay, so actually,
I saw the first one and
so
the
this is
third one.
this is actually
You may have actually not seen the first one. You may
okay.
have seen
So
the
this is
second
actually
one.
a perfect opportunity to explain what's going on with this. So when Sam Raimi made the first one, he released it, and I can't remember what movie publishing company came out and released it. But Sam didn't read the contract correctly enough, so that when he wanted to make another one, that one was owned, or that story arc was owned by that movie publisher.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't realize that he actually signed the rights away to it. So he made Evil Dead 2, which is why they like reintroduce Ash Williams again.
Yeah.
Because it's a completely different story arc at that point.
Oh,
Because of the fact that he couldn't actually continue on with the story of the first one because it didn't belong to him anymore.
The first one is more of a serious horror movie, while the second one, that's when you start seeing the typical Sam Raimi kind of campiness.
Okay.
Still a little scary, but like.
So then I did see the second one. And
yeah, it's probably second
one.
and third.
All right.
If you watch Army of Darkness, they actually, I think they reshot scenes, but they have like flashback sequences where you'll see things that happen in the second movie and then scenes that were completely reshot. Like his girlfriend is different. They got Bridget Fonda, sorry. It was Bridget Fonda to play his girlfriend, but she's only in it for like that 10 seconds. Like, you shouldn't even have dialogue. It's just a flashback sequence of him talking while he's working in the store. And they have a commentary about it. We're like, yeah, I can't believe that she showed up to do this one part.
So what is it that you guys think that brings the following to Evil Dead?
He's like a Indiana Jones Harrison Ford type character where he gets hit a lot. And he may not be the most equipped guy for it, but he's like that kind of like the everyman, but not really. Because I don't know if everyman would have A, cut off his own hand, and B, would have been able to arm up a bunch of
as hard as he did
medieval knights as he did with just the things that were in the trunk of his car.
Just kind of
like
going off of like
yeah, like here's this chemistry book that I randomly kept from high school in the trunk of my car.
Sure.
Boom, we're gonna make stuff. I'm like, okay, but then you go with it because he is a guy who you can still kind of relate to. He does get.
And it's not even to the point where it would just spawn the movie and the streaming service, but it even went into the comic book world.
Oh, yeah.
Like it had its own comics. It did crossovers with Marvel during the Marvel Zombies.
He showed up
that. That was good.
There was also the Freddy versus Jason versus Ash, part 1 and 2.
Yeah, those were cool.
They were. It's like
those were actually direct sequels to Freddy versus Jason.
That we were supposed to get into movies, and then it just never came into fruition. Yeah. I'm using that word a lot today, fruition.
But no, it's seeing. I think they're fun characters you see in there. They're like the lore of it's kind of ridiculous, and that the monsters themselves are scary, but they're also ridiculous at the same time.
Yeah, they still like it's just that weird retention of humanity in them. In that, like when he calls out to them in an insulting manner, it's just like, huh?
They still get mad. It's like
what? Like, this dude really say that right now?
I always like tree bitch. Hey, tree bitch.
Sean, why do you think the Evil Dead kind of just, even after all this time, still remains really relevant in the entertainment world?
Well, I mean, Evil Dead's fun to watch, man. I mean, come on. The horror thing, Boomstick, Bruce Campbell's great. So I mean, like, how do you not like that?
Okay.
Of course it's gonna be good, man. I mean, I'll just say shit. Chocolate tastes like chocolate. Chicken tastes like chicken. I mean, what do you want, dude?
Answer to the question?
I don't.
Yeah,
You
you didn't.
What?
What
Well,
was the
you
question?
asked what I wanted. I wanted the answer to the question. Why do you think it's like
Why
what
do you
what is it so intriguing about horror comedy that was released in the 80s and 90s that even 20, 30 years later it's still as popular as it is?
I mean, do you get a lot of horror comedy like anything nowadays?
That's like a lot of the movies.
Really?
A lot of horror movies are like that. They might not be the
Really?
big name ones, but yeah, I mean, Cabin in the Woods even makes fun of that.
I guess. But I mean, it's not like
I mean,
there's.
look at like almost they're not the highest quality, but a lot of the quote unquote horror movies that are on Sci-Fi Channel or like even straight to cable, they have large elements of comedy in them.
Yeah, but like it's
Like
Sci-Fi
Sharknado?
Channel stuff.
Sharknado.
Yeah,
It's like a perfect
Sharknado.
example of that, yeah.
Sharknado, and there's like a bunch of those. And you could talk about that those are Sci-Fi Channel, but those aren't ones that necessarily they made per se. They're just ones they bought from whoever was making it.
Like they thought it was a good idea, and then Sharknado got 2 sequels.
Yeah.
More than that, I think.
Well, it's actually
Dude,
like 7.
Well, like
There's
is
like
it like
7.
sequels and spin-offs?
No, they got 7 straight movies. Like the Sharknado number, whatever it was.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, or even like, was it Happy Death Day to You? That's a horror comedy.
That is a horror comedy.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah. So there's actually there is a line between, there's
Huh.
a deep connection between those.
Okay. All right. Dude, I can't. What makes this popular? I like them. The music's good. Bruce Campbell's in it.
Then you just answer the question.
It just answers
then
the
I answered
question.
question. You're saying I didn't answer the question.
No, you just said chicken tastes like chicken for some reason.
Yeah, you were talking about. You did talk about chicken and chocolate.
Did you
tastes like
eat this
chocolate.
morning? Did you eat?
A little.
And then also, not everyone likes chocolate. Like, I'm not huge into chocolate, so just because you say
all
chocolate tastes
right.
like chocolate, unless it's with something like peanut butter, then it's delicious.
Okay,
that's
fuck.
awesome. You got chocolate in my peanut butter. Sean's so annoyed right now.
Trying to answer your question, fuck, man.
I just love it because he's like wearing the hat and he's just like, oh my god, this asshole! I swear to God.
You do it to me all the time.
Okay, then let me ask you another question, Sean.
Sure.
We kind of know what we're gonna get, or what we got as far as Ash Campbell with the Evil Dead, and we know that there's at least the hand-picked one, so there's probably a good idea. What are you hoping as far as the main characters? Is there like a particular characteristic that you want to see? Do you want them to follow the same idea of just like the chainsaw hand, or something completely different?
I would hope for like Sam Raimi to be directing it, but if he's not, and Bruce Campbell's going to be in the background, you don't exactly know what he's going to be doing.
Actually, I think he's going to be a producer.
Yeah.
Is he going to be okay? Well, yeah, he should be a producer.
Because
That's
again,
good.
it's not that he's not having anything to do with it. It's just he's not having anything to do with Ash.
Yeah, he
Well-
retired that character.
Okay. I don't know. I mean, I would have liked to see Sam Raimi direct the dang thing, but if that's not what's going to happen,
I mean, but if he chose somebody that he thought would still be able to carry on with the legacy of Evil Dead, that's really saying something in itself. It's
Yeah,
not
I
like
guess
somebody
that-
who's just like, oh, I want to do this. It's just like, no, I want this guy to do this.
okay. And then I guess we have to wonder how much involvement Bruce Campbell's going to have in it. I mean, you did say he's a producer, but there's sometimes the role as producer, like a guy can walk in in the editing room, like, hey, you still working on it? Cool. All right, awesome. And then walks away and collects a check, right? And that could be Bruce Campbell real easy.
I don't think not for this property, man. And also, he's
I would
produced
hope-
his own stuff. I mean,
Yeah, he has.
He's produced his own movies. Obviously, a lot of them were all filmed on his property, but he takes care on the projects he's on.
Yeah,
I don't think he's gonna
that's
mess around
true.
on this.
I don't think he's going to do it either. I mean, but like,
I mean,
how
you're right. That
hands-on
could
is he gonna
happen.
But it could happen. I mean,
It could.
know.
I don't think that's what he's gonna do, especially for a
And-
property
yeah.
that his name's attached to.
And Sam Raimi isn't directing, but I mean, maybe.
I don't know. Maybe
That's really bumming you out right now, isn't it?
It's like Sam Raimi not doing. Like maybe that might be a good thing because he might be burned from doing this type of work on for a property that he's been in care of for so long.
Yeah, all I want to do is make more Spider-Man movies. Like,
Well,
shut up! No, you don't. No, you don't. Shut your fucking mouth.
I don't know,
Go
man.
away
You
with that
talking about
shit.
that? I'm like, only 1 out of 3 of those movies isn't good. 1 out of 3. That's a 33. That's a 66% success rate.
And
But 100% of Uwe Boll movies are not great. So
true. However,
and let's be honest
movie,
too. Sony was the one that were pushing him to release it as soon as possible so that they retained rights.
And
so it's like, I need more time, and they're
no,
like,
I know,
"You don't
and
have
I know,
it
and I know, Sean. I watched that movie with you. I watched Spider-Man 3. It is not great
at all."
Yeah.
but it doesn't ruin the franchise for me.
no, I suppose not.
Are you telling me that because you didn't like part 3, you wouldn't go back and watch part 2?
God damn! Can I say 2 goddamn words, please?
You just did. All right, Dad. Okay, so he's done now, and then you said.
And the echo stays on, fuckers.
No,
and
no,
the mute goes on.
Yep, just did that. So
There you go.
yeah, well now, all right, we're gonna unmute him now. You can mute him,
Because he will leave now.
I'm like, all right, cool. No, actually, I just boot you. Here you go, done. Sorry, folks. Technical.
Randy, what are you looking forward to as far as a new Evil Dead?
You know, I'm curious because they did do. They already had something similar, like you mentioned, to what other characters are doing while experiencing things that happen with the Necronomicon. They've had that in the series. They did that with that 2013 movie, which actually I'm kind of disappointed they're not going to revisit that.
I like the movie.
I like Jane Levy in it. She was really good in it. And even when she goes full on, when she tears her hand off, I was like, wow, that I didn't expect it to be that visceral. I don't know. I mean, just more stuff with lore. I'm actually curious on whether or not you'll have scenarios where they haven't touched on it yet, but like, what if a government agency got a hold of that book and tried to weaponize it?
Oh, nice.
Because they have all these other things, and like it might be kind of like having a Woods-esque
point.
but
happen a lot.
But but never an Evil Dead. Not once an Evil Dead.
Right.
And that book's been around for hella long.
True, but
and like
I mean,
it also kind of goes back to like during the World War II, when they thought that the Germans were going into black magic in order to try to.
No, they were. They didn't think. No, they actually did. They actually tried.
So
doing
like
that
they
stuff.
could go off of that. It's just like, when America found out that Germany was doing it, and they were like, "Hey, this is actually a thing." They started recruiting their own, and they all kind of led over to the Necronomicon. It's feasible. It's feasible.
I mean, I gotta wonder how that book even got there.
Yeah.
Because it's just randomly in a cabin.
I mean, I am bummed that we're not getting Ash, but like I mentioned before, I'm always a fan of seeing how others have to interact to situations where, like this, as soon as the Necronomicon gets read and the enchantments, it's not just happening within the vicinity of where they're at. It's like a global thing. So I wonder, how do other characters deal with it? Who are the ones that go insane and try to take the power of the Necronomicon? Who's the one that becomes the heroic figure? Do we get another character much like Ash in that he's just a regular blue-collar schmo who's doing the 9-to-5 and has to rise up to the occasion? Like, those types of things interest me in certain universes. I always want to see it. And the Evil Dead universe is just bonkers in itself, so...
It's going to be a crossover with John Wick.
How crazy can you get with that? Well, it's the Evil Dead. Let's see where we can go with this. All right, two little things really quick. Were you guys fans of the Unsolved Mystery series back in the day?
Oh yeah, I still watch it on with the streaming service Pluto. Watch the reruns with John. Was it Jonathan Stack? Is his name, the host?
Yes, Robert Stack.
Robert Stack. Yeah, he was just
Sean?
so ridiculous.
I'm a fan of Robert Stack. He's he's a good guy.
Did you like Did you like Unsolved Mysteries?
No.
No? Oh, okay. Well,
No.
this news is probably going to bore you.
Not for him then.
All right.
Unsolved Mysteries is making a return on Netflix. 12 episodes have been signed off on, and on July 1st, the first 6 episodes will be appearing. Each episode is going to follow one mystery. If you actually look online, they all have titles. They all talk about the situation that's going on. The show is also being produced by 21 Laps. They're the ones who worked on Stranger Things. So hopefully we're not going to get the cheesy character reenactments that we got back in the 90s. So cheesy, man.
That's what makes it so charming. And
that's where a lot of big name actors got their start too.
I like that because it's also the idea that when you show those reenactments and then they interview the people that they're based on, they look nothing like them.
Right.
It's like, this looks nothing like the person.
Like you got like a 48-year-old overweight man, and then it goes to his 32-year-old counterpart who's like chiseled and
super good looking dude. You're like,
unfortunately, as we all know, Robert Stack passed away, so the company has actually decided to not have an announcer.
No host? That's lame.
Yeah, it's going to have more of like a docu-series feel to it. And instead of dialing the 1-800 number, if you can help solve the mystery, you're going to actually go to a website.
I mean, hope that it's not, because they're like, 1-800 number. What the hell? They're really trying to go for the original authenticity.
Yeah, really.
But yeah, I think it's a mistake that they don't get a host. And I feel like they should get a different host for each episode. That's
like celebrities that were fans of it, or celebrities that actually performed in the reenactments to come back.
That actually would work.
I
think you can get people to people who are on there who've done it before.
And then last thing, and then we'll go into what's going on with the PlayStation, which I'm pretty sure is what Sean's really here for. We have we finally know the fate of Tony Soprano from the Soprano series. He died. He did. The whole blackout scene was actually there was a precursor to it where Bobby, the character in there, talks about how his idea of what happens when somebody dies is that it just all goes black. And that's what ends up happening, is that for Tony, when you see it, it all goes black. But it was explained by the showrunner that he had actually filmed like the idea of how Tony Soprano was going to die. They had the script wrote out, and he let that slip during a podcast. And they're like, you just realized that you finally answered the question that everyone's been wondering for the last 13 years. What happened to Tony Soprano? Did he live? Did he die? He did. And funny enough, there is a prequel series coming out called Newark, and James Gandolfini's son, Michael Gandolfini, will be portraying Tony Soprano back in his younger days. Okay. So you have two people within the same family portraying the same person. So I've got a little quiz for you guys. Out of the three that I'm about to give you, which actors portrayed the same character? You don't have to know the character, but you have to tell me which ones actually did it. Was it A, Freddie Prinze and Freddie Prinze Jr., B, Colin Hanks and Tom Hanks? Actually, you know what? Just those two.
Who've played the same character?
Yeah, doesn't have to be the same, like in the same franchise, but like if it was a character or if they portrayed anybody out of those two, who did?
I'm probably just gonna guess that it was Colin Hanks and Tom Hanks, because I can't imagine Freddie Prinze. I mean, it may have happened, but I don't know what work Freddie Prinze Sr. had done that could tie in with any work that his son has done.
Sean?
I don't fucking know.
Guess.
I think Captain Caveman and Son. I think Son played Captain Caveman in something
That's not
prior. Yeah.
Sean apparently was not listening to what you were saying, so we can just.
I don't think Sean gives a fuck.
And you wonder
I don't
why
know what the end of your question is.
And Sean, you wonder why we tease you and we give you so much crap. It's because you come in like this, and it's just like, well, we're just gonna poke the bear.
Yeah. It's like, that's not what he
So
asked.
I'm gonna ask the question again.
No, don't. Just don't. Just don't.
So to answer your question,
I feel like I'm just gonna
I don't
go with
get
you
the
guys.
question, honestly.
What's that?
I don't get the question, honestly.
He just wants to know which, between the two father-son duos he's going to mention, which duo
Portrayed the same character. Like at different points.
Okay.
So was it Freddie Prinze Jr. and Freddie Prinze Sr., or Tom Hanks and Colin Hanks?
Okay.
So just take a guess.
Yeah, fine. I'll go with Randy's answer.
You guys are right. Colin Hanks portrayed Mr. Rogers in Drunk History.
Mm-hmm.
And Tom Hanks portrayed Mr. Rogers in It's a Wonderful Day in the Neighborhood.
Okay.
You're a dick, Sean.
Pow!
So the new work is going to be supposedly being released next year. So we'll be getting more Sopranos somewhere in the near future.
And about that, like, here's the thing. Like, I like how it's like you did totally just say, well, Tony Soprano died. And then his reaction was like, well, fuck.
But, I mean, I'm assuming there may have been a pause. We're like,
actually, I do love that because he's like, you realize he's like, fuck you guys.
Fuck. Okay. Darn. See, I don't think
he said darn.
Well, shit on my ass. Like who cares?
Let me ask you guys something. If you knew, I don't know if you guys watched Sopranos, so let's just go with the series.
I didn't.
You didn't, Sean, already?
Well, I mean,
I watched the first few seasons.
Okay, so
I sporadically seen episodes, and I'm like, wow, this is really good. If I really got into this,
what is your opinion?
But I didn't have HBO.
Yeah.
So
what is your opinion on the way the series ended? Are you guys okay with an idea if a series ends ambiguously, or do you want a closure point?
Well,
I mean,
okay, go ahead, Randy.
Just in general.
I was gonna say in general, I prefer a closure point.
Yeah.
I actually get really irritated. A couple of things I don't like when content or people who like the showrunners or whatnot, when they make a project and they say one of two things. One, that the city or setting that they're in is also a character. I feel like that's bullshit. I always want to choke a person out when they say that. Two, that they always want to leave it open-ended for the audience to decide what's going on.
Yeah, like, Breaking Bad.
And like
no,
just like
Breaking Bad.
Lost or any of those.
Or Lost. Ooh, thank you, Randy. I was wondering what the other one was.
Like Lost, I looked at that and I know this friend, like, it's Chris. He was into Lost. I watched a little bit of it. I mean, little bit. I watched the pilot episode, and then I watched the finale. And then after I watched the finale, I went, thank God I didn't waste all of those episodes and hours watching this show. Because I went, nope. This is.
What about you, Sean? Do you like the ambiguous ending, or do you like a closure point?
I think the ambiguous ending has to be really done well. Like, I think Breaking Bad's ambiguous ending was done well, and you're like, oh, okay, cool. You leave it open-ended. I don't know if Walter is alive or not. I'm like, oh, shit, what's up? And he got shot. The cops are coming in and everything. I'm like, all right. With Sopranos, he's just at the counter, like, paying for food, and then he turns around and everything goes black. And you're like, what the fuck? All right.
Yeah, I think a lot of people
miss happened?
I think a lot of people miss that tidbit where Bobby talks about that.
Yeah, like what the hell happened, right? And
yeah.
I didn't even watch the ending of it, but I've read that like that's how it ended, and I'm like, all right, cool, I guess, because I'm not a really big Sopranos fan, just because I'm poor and I don't have HBO.
You can pay cable. They'll pay cable for you.
Got to pay for HBO on that one.
Yeah, and but I've seen episodes, and I'm like, hey, it's a cool show. Like I like how it's shot and acted beautifully, and I'm like, all right, and I can get behind these characters. So to hear it end like that, and I'm like, oh, god damn it, really? Like,
so at least for the Sopranos case, you would have wanted a closure point.
Yeah, and I mean,
but you're cool with the idea of an ambiguous ending if it's done properly.
Yeah, it's like, how did he die? Like he just turned a corner and some dude just came around the corner and shot him.
I mean,
he's in the mob.
That's the kind of life he lives where that could happen.
Yeah, where that can happen. You go,
he's done that himself.
Yeah, he's totally done that. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, to your point, I agree. I agree that if you're going to do an ambiguous ending, there needs to be breadcrumbs that lead you to what the ideal is. Like you did mention, Manuel, that there is a discussion. They talk about like, oh, when you die, it just goes black. But I don't think it was like a passing conversation. Where that's how it was viewed, at least. It was received like it was that manner. Going to Breaking Bad and how it ends, I actually appreciate that Sony that Productions that made that series. On the box set, they actually have a altered or an extended ending where it's Bryan Cranston in bed as Hal, from his character Hal from Malcolm in the Middle. And he actually wakes up and says, he wakes up his wife, and it's the wife from Malcolm in the Middle. It's telling, honey, I had this dream that this and this happened. And they're like, oh my God.
Drug lord and
and it's like, Hal, shut up. And then like it pans away, like he tries to like make a move on her, and she's like, oh, Hal, and then pans away, and you see his hat from Breaking Bad on the like the love seat that's in their room, and
That's
I appreciated that they did that because it's such a good callback.
It's
to,
a joke ending. You
yeah,
like it.
and I
Yeah.
was like, oh, that's awesome. And then I remember I saw that because someone put it on the internet, and Sony pulled it so quick because they felt like they had a statement saying this was content meant for home release. Well, I'm like, no, you got mad because this was a better ending that what you could have done before.
Yeah.
Because it makes it funny. It gives you like because this whole story is kind of like it's really terrible stuff.
You know what that is? You know what that is? That's a Silent Hill joke ending right there.
Yeah.
Actually,
exactly.
yeah, it is. The alien showed up. You're like, wait, what?
The dog's running the show? What?
Why is he talking to me? Why is the dog talking to me?
You're
Oh,
like, I
God,
don't know
what's going on.
But yes, it's one of those things where like, oh, and it's a callback to one of Bryan Cranston's other famous roles where he did that. And I thought that I really appreciated that he pulled that off.
Yeah. I'm
Cool.
glad everybody came back together for that. All right. So let's, we were on the potatoes of our podcast today, and now we're going straight into the meat of it all. The PlayStation 5 console. We know what it looks like. We have a really good idea of some of the games coming out. What we don't know is the
It's how
price point
much
yet.
it is.
Nope. That's the ambiguous ending, man. That was the.
Yeah, that's
was-
the ambiguous ending.
And like, guys,
But it wasn't done well. Let's be honest.
not at all. It was really. I was like waiting and waiting. I'm like, you guys couldn't have done any of that stuff. I get it. Thank you for showing me the sizzle trailer for all these games that are coming. I really appreciate it. They look.
I'm excited for a few of them.
This looks really cool. How much does it cost? All right, guys, we're gonna have two different versions. It's gonna be a digital. For people who don't know, they're gonna do what Microsoft tried to do, which is make a disc, a optical drive less console. Which for people who don't know, that the Xbox One originally was gonna be that until like they ditched out on that concept like really late in the game, and they added a Blu-ray drive in.
Yeah, well, it wasn't time for that to do that. And like now, I think you can do that.
Well, yeah, I mean, the thing is, we could have that scenario.
Right.
Yeah, but they didn't. So Sony's like, we're gonna make a disc drive version, which I actually looked at the design again. And I'm like, this is not great at all. And then there's the digital. They call it the digital version.
Which is like no drive whatsoever.
Yes, there's no little slit on this
optical
side.
drive. Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, how much does both of them cost? You're not gonna tell me, you a-holes.
Yeah.
God damn it, Sony.
All right, so let's first go over some of the games that were announced. I found it hilarious. I started laughing actually when the first thing that they showed, even before anything PlayStation related, they did a Grand Theft Auto spot.
Yeah.
Which I laughed and got mad at the same time. So anybody the good news is that if you bought Grand Theft Auto digitally for PS4, you're gonna get it for PS5. Anybody who's still playing the game is going to get $1 million in-game currency a month until it comes out, which I thought was really cool. And there is actually one thing that I'm looking at. I'm like, I'm a little excited for. Granted, this is like 3 consoles in: Xbox 360, PlayStation 3, Xbox One, PlayStation 4. For sure, we know PlayStation 5 because they did it.
You're saying 3 generations?
Yeah.
So far, okay.
And the game has been there. My only assumption, this is an assumption, but I have to believe that this means that they're going to create even more in-game content for that series. Where, like with the first one, we had Xbox.
Oh no, I don't think so.
And then PlayStation 4, Xbox One. That's when they announced the Casino DLC. And the Casino DLC had all of its stuff. It had gambling, all that. So I have a feeling. I mean, if Rockstar is really going to actually do this and release it on the PlayStation 5, maybe not right away, but I feel like more content's going to come out for it. Because why stick on that? Why not release Grand Theft Auto 6 at this point, 2
Because
consoles
it's
in?
still being worked on.
Well, then why not make it like a teaser trailer? I mean, Capcom did it for Street Fighter.
Yeah, but this is Rockstar.
Yeah, so
whatever they want to do, they're going to do.
So I'm going to say it. We will probably get DLC for Grand Theft Auto 5 for PlayStation 5 and Xbox One if it comes out for Xbox One. We already got Sean's agreement or disagreement on that. Randy, what do you think?
I don't think so.
I mean, if they have stuff waiting, they could easily just have content waiting for this release. It wouldn't be hard for them just to hold off on things. But they've also had opportunities to just kind of sit and wait as far as releasing GTA 6, but they're not known to be. Rockstar is not. They're not under any real pressure to release anything, as far as like content goes. But I mean, it wouldn't be hard for them. I mean, there's a lot of games that get crossover from console generation to the next. I mean, we might get like the ultimate by support. All they need to do is release like an ultimate edition of Grand Theft Auto 5 for PS5.
That's what I think this is.
And then that's it. I mean, they could easily do that, or they can have more extra stuff in there. I mean, they're not really up on releasing what their plans are.
We also got confirmation for sure. Resident Evil 8 is Resident Evil 8 Village.
Yeah.
We saw those screenshots from before, but nothing was actually set in stone. Well, now it's been set in stone. We've got ourselves Resident Evil 8.
Mm-hmm.
That's coming out. At least we know for PlayStation. We don't know if it's coming out for Microsoft. Do you guys think Microsoft will jump on this?
I guess it all
They already
comes
have
down.
it.
I mean, it all comes down to
Resident Evil 8?
8's not on anything else, dude. Not at least not announced.
Almost positive Xbox is probably going to... It's a third-party thing, so Xbox is probably going to get it.
So Street Fighter,
Yeah.
but it's a PlayStation exclusive.
Well,
It's a
yeah,
matter-
Sony
it's a-
put money into it,
Yeah,
though, so
and
it's
so-
going to be a PlayStation exclusive.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Is they haven't announced what's done anything on there, so we don't know for sure what's happening. I mean, Capcom hasn't said, "Hey, it's going to be a console exclusive" or "It's a timed exclusive." I'm pretty certain they took money from somebody
Yeah.
to make
Yeah,
these games.
I do want to assume that it's going to be on the Xbox, though, until Sony says otherwise, and then go, oh, okay.
And then we had Spider-Man, Miles Morales.
Yeah.
That looked rad.
It did. It really did. I'm stoked to play a Miles Morales Spider-Man. That's going to be great. That's going to be great.
Gran Turismo is making its return, Gran Turismo 7. But
Oh boy.
you say that, but there is a racing community out there that really
No.
loves that series.
That's not why that's not why I'm having that reaction. No. I'm really glad for Gran Turismo coming back. Forza has been kicking your guys' asses. Has been kicking Gran Turismo's ass for a while now. So to have their originators come back and be like, nah, we're going to show you how this works, which is cool. And all the cars look great, and I could see the very individual leather texture on the dash of that Aston Martin as I'm driving in the cockpit of the car, which is great. I do have concerns when it comes to actual like peripheral usage.
All right, dude, let us know what's up.
But okay, so when I looked, Randy, because I don't know if I have the means to share screen. I don't know if that's something you guys because we have lately not been doing it.
It says right now.
I literally did on the last episode. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Remember?
Do it.
Never mind. It's
no,
okay.
I haven't watched
Do
the
it.
last episode.
No, Sean doesn't remember when I put that video of Do It on.
Do it.
That's
Oh,
the share
yeah.
screen.
That
What do you
was
need
a
to
share
know about
screen.
Gran Turismo?
The front of the PlayStation 5, it looked like there was only one USB slot, right?
I thought I saw
And I'm
two.
like, I didn't.
Oh.
It's really tough for me to see in some of these shots.
Okay.
Well, let me take a look.
But, see, because I was looking for, like, okay,
Well, okay. Before you continue, Sean, is this regarding Gran Turismo 7?
yes.
Okay.
Okay, steering wheels. Because with Grand Theft Auto, damn it, for Gran Turismo, the racing community, like, you know how fighting game community, we have to have that fight stick or the hit boxes and everything. Same goes with them. That steering wheel, that foot pedal, the really good ones, all depends on what gets plugged into that system. Now, it looked like there was only one USB slot in the front. I mean, I guess you can have another USB slot in the back, but that would be a pain in the ass, wouldn't you think? I mean, I don't know.
I feel like I remember I saw two USB ports.
Uh,
Gotta take a look
There's
right now.
nothing here. I'm looking at what the specs are giving on the console, and it doesn't mention anything about
like in the front, like, because my PS4 has two USB slots in the front and then like one in the back,
Yeah.
which is enough. But like the steering wheel, sometimes, you know, it's
No, I'm assuming they have more because there's a camera attachment. There's the
headphones,
charging controllers. Headphones you
charging
don't necessarily need
controllers.
USB, but I'm assuming
No.
headphones are wireless. But
Yeah,
I mean,
Oh, I see what Sean is saying. Because there's one. I'm
it's so
looking at
ugly.
it. It looks like there's one USB, and then there's like a USB-C port.
I mean, it could be running off USB-C. There's also a
That'd
thing
be
called
crazy.
there could also be a thing called a hub, which is not out of the realm of possibilities with consoles. I mean,
That's
Xbox
true.
360 did it for when you wanted to play Rock Band. You had the hub that you had to use.
Yeah, that's true.
So I
I
don't
don't
think
know
it-
if my PS4 actually is like can do that though. If
Almost
I
all
can plug a
consoles
USB
can.
hub in there
Yes, you
to
can.
make it work. Oh yeah.
Yeah, you can.
I've never had to try. But I guess that would be fine if you wanted to plug a hub
I
into
mean, it's
it.
a matter of how much power goes through it.
All right, so
Yeah.
I'm naming off some of the titles on here, but I want to hear from you guys. What were you excited about when you saw, as far as the games themselves?
New Horizon, Spider-Man, Miles Morales. Oh God. Yeah, Resident Evil, and I'm gonna say that's it.
Really? All right. Randy, what were you excited for?
When I saw the Resident Evil 8 trailer, I looked at it and I'm like, this better be Resident Evil 8, or Konami really just was hiding it and did Silent Hill without telling anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, my mentality was this is Resident Evil 8 when I first started
I'm
seeing
like,
it. I was like,
this is
RE8.
definitely this got to
This
be
is
Resident Evil.
RE8. Yeah.
Or like Konami was like, hey man, we for real guys, we did. And then I'm like, okay, and then I'm like, no, that's 8. But the game I'm actually really interested in because it just looks really fun was Deathloop. I thought that looked really dope.
Yeah.
I was really surprised that they said it was a Bethesda game because it didn't look like a Bethesda game.
Yeah, I think it was being published by Bethesda.
Well,
and
it's
developed by somebody else.
yeah, of course that happens, but it doesn't look like a game that they would develop or that they would publish. It doesn't look like a
See,
title that they
About
would
that
make.
game, Bethesda put something out on one of their E3 like conferences for that, and the first trailer for that did not look great. You're like, oh, why am I watching these dueling assassins kill each other over and over again? And then I guess it gets this huge artwork overhaul, and now it looks like something you would want to play.
Well,
Like,
I mean, I don't think
okay, dope.
overall. I know what you're talking about. I just think that they were very early in development. And that's what you get.
That's
It's
true.
like when we got King of Fighters 14. It looked like a PS2 game. We're just like,
No,
no, dude, that's just the beginning. They're gonna touch it
they're
up.
They're gonna fix it. Here we go. And then what was it? Oh, Devil Inside looks looks really really dope. I thought that was really cool. And then just because I feel like that's a genre that isn't necessarily as around because a lot of it's always focused on the racing, but I like Destruction All Stars because it looked like someone took Vigilante 8
Oh God.
and put Vigilante 8 what's it called? Saints Row and
Rocket League.
Rocket League together.
That's a very good comparison, Randy.
Yeah.
Now that you
And I
mentioned
thought it was really
yeah.
fun. And those are games that don't have there's not a lot like that anywhere here.
I will
Yeah.
say they meshed those games together well, but I don't know. It's like too E-League for me. And I'm like, eh.
So I agree. I agree with Randy on Little Devil Inside.
Yeah,
That one
looks
looks
fun.
It looks like
like
that one
oh
looks
hey,
rad.
it's like they took two because I like that it's 2-1 where it's like the guy's out in the I guess quote unquote the overworld. He's doing all these things trying to survive, and then like his boss he's just chilling, and it's all done in a 2D format where he's just hanging out in the bathtub waiting for whatever it is that guy's supposed to come up with. Trailers that I saw that I was actually very underwhelmed by was actually Spider-Man Miles Morales. I thought it would be a better trailer, considering that this is their one of their premier titles.
Yeah,
It could also be
Their
maybe
first party.
maybe not premiere. Like maybe it's just like the teaser of it.
No, I mean like I'm not saying that the trailer itself, but like what they're showing, I was like, guys.
No. What I'm saying is that this is probably like something that's not going to be out at launch.
No, a lot of these games aren't out at launch.
So it's probably like, well, even though it
that's
might be a
another
little bit
issue.
later, it might be like a year after the console comes out. But hey, here's this.
I mean, it's the fact that it's a Sony property, it's a Sony studio working with Marvel. You'd figure, hey man, I mean, it was cool seeing some of the stuff in there, like seeing Peter Parker's voice or hearing Peter Parker's voice in there, seeing his movement. But that beginning, I was like, I get it, he's Spider-Man. Come on, roll on with it, man. I know who he is. And then what was the other title that I went? Horizon Forbidden West. I thought I'd get more out of that trailer, but I understand that it's
dude,
beginning.
I marked out when I saw Aloy. I was like, what?
Like, it's those things where I'm like, okay, I get it. And you know what it is because it hasn't been long enough for me to they need to impress me more because it hasn't been that long for me to play this game.
I was really
Like, if it's been like 10 years, then okay, let's go. Like,
I was really stoked to see Ghostwire Tokyo.
that one looks kind of dope. I was like,
Yeah,
wow.
because
This is
I feel like
exactly
it's
what
a
it looked
game
like.
that's gonna like scare the crap out of me, but also make me feel like a badass. Like I feel like they found that right mixture to where I'm always gonna be on edge, but from what you saw, like the character could be a badass.
Yeah.
I'm just like I like that. That's it's pretty cool. I didn't really follow along with the Ratchet and Clank games, but Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart looks really cool.
Really pretty.
I mean,
Really pretty.
That's what I like, because that was like that's a first party title that got me excited for it. Because it's like, oh wow, like, and I've played a lot of Ratchet and Clank. I don't think I've ever missed any of the games, even on the PSP.
And you know what? If we're talking about pretty looking games, Kenna Bridge of the Spirits. Oh, that game is gorgeous.
That looks good.
But it's one of those things where like Ratchet, where this showed just enough to make me go, oh, that's different. Like because they're going through time and things are changing. I'm like, oh, Ratchet's there's a lady here. What's going on?
It looks like they're like reworking Hitman.
Where Hitman threw me through a loop. I didn't know that was Hitman until I was like at the end. I'm like, wait, Hitman?
Well, it's supposed to be, and then they did that. They did have the creators of the show of the franchise explain this is going to be the final, because there've been the first two Hitman series have been on the previous generation. So I'm actually excited because I actually like Agent 47. I like what they did when they relaunched the brand. It's going to be interesting to see what else they do, because I didn't expect it to be a Hitman game until you're like, oh crap, this is Hitman.
Yeah, that guy doesn't age, but all right.
Well, according to the it's easy to disguise your age when you keep shaving your head off.
That's also true. I know he's like for real, just head shaving.
It's like we got to make sure that tattoo is always within visual. Get the razor.
I'm surprised they didn't make it where he's like, okay, got a beard or something. Like he just got super old, and then like
a la Max Payne,
but still bald. Like I'm like, oh yeah, he's still bald. Okay.
Sure. Okay. Whatever.
We saw not really interested in it, but I'm pretty sure a lot of fans are. We saw a small glimpse of NBA 2K21.
The graphics on that
more
look
simulated gambling can you put in this game? Not a single one in that trailer, though. All right.
Well, I mean, we don't know if they have any of that.
They probably, you're right. They may have.
It's still basketball.
What did you guys think of Stray?
Cute kitty.
I saw that. I was like, what is this? I'm like, oh, it's a cat. Okay.
And like a robotic world.
Yeah.
So
there's actually it reminding me of, there's a vignette from that Netflix series called Love, Death, and Robots.
Yes, that's exactly what I thought about.
There's the one with they have the story of the 3 robots, and they talk about the cats, and they're like, oh, that sounds ridiculous. And you find out, no, that's a real thing.
Yeah, how the cats all ended up taking over. Like, how did they take over again? Like, they got opposable thumbs.
Yeah.
And like, oh, that was it.
And then you actually run into a cat, and you're like, oh, crap, it's true. I'm like, what's going on here? But yeah, that looked good. The part that got me was like, okay, they did that thing in the end where they have someone talking about, okay, we're almost at the end of the show, but we can't not show you this. And I looked at it, and they showed this trailer of all these things happening. I'm like, I swear to God, this better not be Demon Souls. And then it was Demon Souls. And I went, oh. And I'm like, not I look at them like, this is how you end? This is how you want to end this presentation? I'm like, I guess. And then it goes on for like 5 more game announcements.
I remember that, yeah.
I'm like, oh, I feel like they could have handled that better. But, I mean, I get it. It's great. I know there's a big following for Demon Souls. I'm not huge on that franchise.
Yeah, me too.
I actually want to enjoy a game and not feel like I'm punished for not doing well in it.
You're right. I mean, there is that sense of satisfaction when you're able to kill off a boss, but how many times do you have to do it before you actually kill it? You know?
And I'm like, and I get it, because it's like, well, old games were like, I'm like, yeah, it doesn't matter now.
Yeah.
That's not how it was. That's not how it is in this world.
They were hard because a lot of them were arcade games that were just trying to take your money.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now I guess it's the same thing, just a different generation. Oddworld Soulstorm.
Oddworld, they made it more epic looking than I could ever think of an Oddworld game is, because I always think of the humor that goes in Oddworld games as a whole, even not just Abe and Abe's like an Abe's Odyssey or Abe's Exodus, but like seeing this, I'm like, man, they made this really dramatic.
Yeah,
I can't believe they made one. I'm like, hey, cool.
Yeah,
I haven't seen you in
that
forever.
wasn't used in a long time.
Yeah.
Goodbye Volcano High, which to me looked like a new series that Cartoon Network was going to release.
It does. It does look like that.
Right?
It does look like
The animation
something
style.
like that.
But
Yeah, that's good.
I am curious to see where that's going to go.
I'll probably get that for my kid.
Project Athea.
That game.
And we don't even know what that is because I looked at like, is that actually the
Yeah.
name or is it just one of
No.
those things that they have here?
Yeah.
Pragmata was
that.
a title where I was like, this looks cool enough and crazy enough where it could be on the new console. And then I immediately thought, I'm like, this also feels like a Capcom game. And then it turns out it is.
It was.
Like,
Yeah, that's the crazy thing, right?
I'm like, okay.
Who saw that coming?
I was like, I mean, because they take chances. They've been taking chances lately. So.
My thing with when they release new consoles is that while I am excited to see new stuff, I also want to see some of the franchises carry over and see what they're going to look like coming along with it. Sticking with Capcom for a second, like we know that Street Fighter 6 is in development right now, and even I realize like we're probably not going to see it here because while there is a community for it, it's not a big budget title like Ratchet and Clank or Grand Theft Auto. But there was a part of me that was secretly hoping to see something like that, like other series that we've been following for the longest time, how they're going to look, how they're going to play on the PlayStation 5. But with that being said, there were a couple of titles, like we mentioned before. Ghostwire Tokyo, I'm really excited about. Deathloop looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. Like new franchises are starting to kind of emerge along with this console, which, you know, it's the best time to do it. Like if you were to try to sell me Deathloop a year into the PlayStation 5's lifespan, I don't think it would have the same effect as being one of the launch titles.
No, probably not.
So it kind of needed to, like, if you're going to introduce these new titles, they have to be attached to the launch of the system in order for it to generate hype. These are the types of things that you can look forward to when it comes down to it. There was another title that I saw that looked absolutely gorgeous, and it was like an art house game. Oh man, where is it?
Was it Bugsnax?
No.
I saw that. I saw that. I'm like, for a second, I was like, oh. If I hadn't already seen it, I would have sworn this would be like another Ratchet and Clank, or not Ratchet and Clank, another
Is it?
A Sackboy Little Big Planet game. And I'm like, oh no, they already showed that.
Was I the only one disturbed when I saw the guy eat the strawberry?
It was weird to see that, and it looked at him like, oh, but it's the guys who made was it Octodad? And I was like, okay, I get it now. I get where this is coming from. It's one of those, really silly, artistic. Indie titles. But no, there's a lot of games they had shown, and there's some titles that I'm interested in. But the thing I'm really bothered by is that they did not talk about how much this fucking thing's gonna cost. I'm so upset by that.
That's another thing. That's one issue I have. That's the biggest issue I have.
And then obviously the design. I looked at the design and I'm like, it looks like someone at Sony decided, hey, you know how everyone's making fun of the Xbox One or Xbox Series X looks like a Comcast, looks like a Comcast router. What if we did that but made it look like a Netgear one, but it popped its collars from its jacket? Let's do that. And they submitted it as a joke, and then it got so hyped the chain. They're like, no, we love this. Let's do it. And they're like, oh fuck, how do we?
You shot yourselves in the foot for that one, didn't you?
How do we backtrack? Because then it does not look great as a console.
So did you guys see the rumored price of it on Amazon UK?
I have a hard time believing any of those prices. What did they have it at? I want to say it was like, what did we talk? We talked about it's going to be like.
So for the UK price, it was £599.99, which equates to about $750.
Ooh, damn.
USD.
That can't be real. I bet you they're basing that off of like PS3, PS4 pricing.
Yeah.
I don't believe that. At all.
So this is actually, speaking on the design about it, and you brought it up a little bit earlier about how we have the console that has the disk drive and one that's just going to be pure download. Do you think that this may be kind of like doing statistics on the idea of going pure digital starting on the newer consoles? Like, I mean, they have both consoles, and then they can start looking like, okay, what's selling more? Is it the one with the disk drive or the one without it? So that they can decide whether or not they want to continue doing Blu-ray for like the PlayStation 6, 7, or whatever, or if they're just gonna like enough people are buying just the download one that it's just like, okay, that's all we need.
I mean,
Or do you think they're just trying to take care of everybody?
I think they're taking a chance with it's the idea that they can tap into the idea of people. I mean, I'm hoping that they'll have it where the optical drive is the digital edition will cost less because it has less hardware.
Yeah.
In it.
Like
So
$100 less, right?
So it being potentially, we don't know how much it's going to be. They didn't say anything.
I'm guessing.
Yep.
I'm guessing like $100.
If they do that and people are like, okay, people are going to buy this because there's an incentivization because you save money on it, but you buy everything digitally. They'll probably use that data to be like, okay, we can see how it is, and it'll also show like as far as the market goes, how people will have to try and sell these things and whatnot. I think they're just trying to cover their bases. They're like, Sony can take the hit on something like this.
And it's also worth mentioning that PlayStation did announce that it was going to be backwards compatible with PS4 games.
They did say that in in that trailer, but it was one of those things where like I felt like there should have been more of an emphasis on it because I went, is that for sure? Like, is that everything that they're going to work on?
And we kept hearing different things about that. First they said all of them were, and then they said like 85% of the library, and then that Sony was reaching out to a lot of the publishers and saying like, or developers, and like you have to make sure that it works both ways, like. So we're still a little up in the air with how it's going to work for that.
Yeah. Well, so here's how I see it.
Shoot.
Okay, one, USB slots. I'm questioning. Backwards compatibility is probably only going to be on the one with the disc, with the optical drive. The digital one, probably not, because how are you going to put discs in that thing? How are you going to...
I think they're referring to PlayStation
How are you going to figure that out?
I mean, you have PlayStation Network games that you may...
Oh, yeah. Oh, that you just reminded me. Also, PlayStation Network is going to be... They have a deal with that going. I totally forgot what the damn deal was for that with the PS5. If you get the PS5, you're going to get like a month or two or PSN Network for like free or something like that, which I thought was pretty cool.
I remember they were even saying that they're trying to get a lot of people to switch over immediately, and that might help that incentive.
Not if it's $700. Not if it's $700. I think that's my limit.
Yeah?
I think that's my limit. Mm-hmm.
So let me ask you,
$700.
If it's so let me ask you this then. Let's say, just for argument's sake, the PlayStation 5 comes out. The one without the disc drive that is just download only is going to be $600, and then the ones with the disc drive in it is going to be $700. You have quite a few titles that on disc that aren't on digital.
Mm-hmm.
Would you still go towards the digital because it's $100 less, and you're not hitting past your max?
No.
Or would you spend the extra $100 so that you can still continue to play your PS4 games?
I would probably spend that. I would want to spend that extra $100 to get the optical drive one, so I can have true backwards compatibility.
Okay.
That's why. And $700 is my limit. There's no way I can pay for anything like over $600.
Well, do you guys want to guess? I'm not saying like I know the answer. This is why I'm saying guess. Do you want to guess how much it would cost to actually produce one console? Because from my understanding, whenever consoles were released, they were never sold for profit. It's everything else. Subscription services.
Peripherals.
The
games even.
The games themselves.
And you see the peripherals in this.
Like, if they were to say that it was $700, imagine how much it actually costs to build that thing out.
It's probably closer to 1,000.
Yeah. And they're selling it at a loss, so...
Okay.
In hopes to get it. I mean, that's been a way of life. Very rarely has that ever happened. I think Nintendo's the only one who's ever done that, and that was with the Switch, that they were making like $3 on every console. Because they figured they had, because those parts they're using... I mean, they're not necessarily proprietary. I mean, some of it is for them, but like these were things that were being made in high numbers, so it wasn't a huge deal.
Like, didn't they use NVIDIA for that?
Yes, NVIDIA helped with they were using the Tegra or whatever it is. But it wasn't anything that they had used before. That was like their deal, because there was the rumor going around that NVIDIA had their own tablet, which was really awesome, the Shield tablet.
I remember those.
And I have one, and it's really rad. And then when I saw the Switch came, I'm like, yep, they sure as hell used NVIDIA, because NVIDIA kept with a very close design, but they used a better processor with it. And so I can imagine that they made a deal. I believe that they had a deal where that's the reason why that tablet line got discontinued, because they're like, we don't need you to compete against us. Here's a bunch of money, make the Switch, and we're just gonna rake in the dough, which they did. So
yeah.
And then I don't know if they've re-upped that deal or not. So positive thing I will say about the PS5 design is I actually appreciate the chance they took on the color, because most of the time it's always a black console with whatever color accent. It's always the same. And in this case, they
included white. So
they
black,
put
white
is the white is the main color you'll see, even on their controllers, their media remote, and their headphones. I'm like,
I know it looks a little bulky, but I actually like the design of the PlayStation 5 controller.
Ooh. Oh, the controller. I was like,
I like
controller. Like
I feel like you're gonna be able to get a better grip on that.
I feel like I look at him like, I feel like someone's gonna try and throw this like it's the Batarang, and it's not gonna work out.
All right.
Yeah, if you do that, please send us a video.
It's like someone does that and like, hey, check it out, try throwing it. My question though is, because they've already announced that there's gonna be limited release this, because they start sticking by their fall 2020. But they're also saying that's
holiday season. Yeah, holiday season,
and it's going to be limited. And I'm like, no shit, it's going to be limited.
And this is probably what's going to keep me from purchasing it right away. Like, I just want to be able to pick up my console and go. I don't want to stress about picking up my console.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll probably hold off for a little bit. If it means that I'm not going to be able to get like the first 2 or 3 months of PlayStation Network for free, fine, whatever. My sanity and health are way more important than 3 months of PlayStation Network.
Yeah, you're not going to get me to camp out in front of a Best Buy or a GameStop that doesn't exist right now to get a PS5, especially for something that's maybe rumored $700. There's no damn way.
I feel like I'm gonna get lucky enough where, I'm just gonna get it. I'm like, oh hey, it's here.
All right, guys.
Yeah, of course that would happen to you.
We've just about hit our time.
I'd probably sell it.
I wanted to make sure that we had plenty of times to do like final words and whatnot.
Nope, we're staying on. I'm the one who's in power here.
Well, I mean, you could. Yeah.
No.
You could, and then I'll just delete the rest of the stuff.
Dang. You see that? You hear that, Sean? I was like, Sean and I will keep it going.
And,
trying
to go for that power play,
just mute me, so.
I did that like 45 minutes ago, dude. Come on, man.
God, what have you done for me lately? Whatever.
45 minutes ago.
Reminds me of that Charlie Murphy bit. It's just like, you slapped me. I was like, that was 4 weeks ago, Charlie Murphy.
That was 4 weeks ago.
All right. Good show, guys. Had a lot of fun with it. Final words, if you guys don't want to say anything. Let's start off with Randy on this one.
I really, really hope that they don't release the PS5 this year.
Ooh.
Push it to next year. Make it easier for everybody else.
I agree.
Don't, because I agree with Sean. There's gonna be a lot of people stressed out of trying to get this console. I actually know,
like on 2020. Yeah,
I'm like, no way, don't do it, guys. Sony, don't do it. You don't.
Let's not add more bullshit to this year for you to release the PS5 this year.
Yeah, you know what? You guys are right. Release it in February when the retail
gift card times comes in.
Yeah,
or you have less stress over these things.
Start the fiscal year strong with the release of the PlayStation 5 in February.
More games will have an opportunity to come out.
All right, right on.
I don't need the Miles Morales Spider-Man that bad. I mean, I want it, but I don't need it that bad.
All right.
Feel me?
Although I will say, if Nintendo just secretly just said, hey, by the way, guys, here's the Nintendo Switch Pro Edition with all the stuff we need, including Bluetooth for headphones and like a higher resolution screen and 4K capability, I will buy that. I'm like, yep, thank you.
I'll do it.
I'm like,
I'll do it.
I just did it. I'm ordering it on Amazon. Just buy 2 get 1 free. Come on, let's split it.
We really should take advantage of something like that. I heard Target's doing that pretty soon.
They're doing it right now.
Yeah.
But yes,
John,
that's my last words. Final words.
I streamed the Sony event, and that was a thing. I wanted to put that up on the our Facebook for Word Vomit, but I feared that Godfall's music would make that a problem. So I was looking into maybe editing something new to put it on. Ew, don't do that face.
I just, you said Godfall. I was just like, that's the.
Yeah,
that's,
I know. I didn't like Godfall at all.
that was Gearbox's, right?
It was Gearbox's.
Yeah.
All the more reason for me to not like it.
And I'll see what I can do with that. And I am suffering a mental block with the rest of our Betrayal on House of the Hill episode 2 right now. I got to a point where I started it and was like, oh God, what else do I do? Oh no. Oh God. So I have to walk away from it, maybe take a breather and think about it for a second. Like, what else do I do to finish it?
It's coming. It's coming. Let's just let everybody know. It's coming. We just taking our time with it.
So, but I stream Vander978 at twitch.tv.
Right.
Check me out there. And yeah, man. Yeah.
All right. So we are currently on episode 198 right now. So we are just getting closer and closer to that 200. Looking forward to recording that one. Make sure you guys are following us on all of our socials. Word Vomit Podcast or Word Vomit Productions. You could just type that in and you'll be able to find us either on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter. We're on the Twitter as well. Sure. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for joining us. Randy, Sean, thank you so much for jumping on.
Yeah, of course.
For these guys, I am Vitamin E-Man, the stubborn SOB, reminding everybody that in times of chaos, be kind.